Hey, my friends, listen. Um, for those that know me, I'm Xavier Johnson, and I'm running for District 1 City Council here in McDonough. Um, listen, I didn't necessarily want to do this video. I knew it wouldn't be long before um, the foolishness that has been going on and the gossiping before it came to my doorstep. And so I'm disappointed that I even have to address any of this information. Um, I was licensed to preach as a teenager, and here's what's interesting: the Bible talks about in Mark 6 that the only place a prophet won't get honor is in his own home amongst his own kindred. And what we're seeing in McDonough right now is nothing less than shameful. Um, I've I received a text message the other day because someone endorsed Cam, and they wanted to try to use it as proof that there was some sort of conspiracy going on. And I've said this throughout the entire campaign, that you won't convince me that somebody that's not from McDonough would love McDonough more than someone that is. You just won't convince me of that. And so my response was that, well, since the endorsement came through, maybe the county can get the money that the city of McDonough owes them for the park that's in conjunction, which is Richard Craig Park, and the park cannot look like a dump. Hours later, their endorsement of the person that's also running for District 1 City Council was publicized on Facebook. And let me say this to you. I love this city and has always loved it, and that's why I brought my kids back to this city to raise them. I thought that the same magic that happened for me growing up is the same magic that could happen for my children. Um, that's what I thought. And so as I came back to McDonough and have volunteered in this community um, for, since a kid, actually, since riding my bike over in Church Circle, going to Big Star and Elmore for the old folks in the community because they didn't have cars. So serving the community has always been my thing. And coaching soccer and coaching football, teaching karate, mentoring kids that have to go to the youth challenge. These are problem kids that I've mentored, taught in our schools, served on our boards, picked up trash, helped fix stuff at folks' houses, all for no charge. These are things that I thought that within this particular community, it only made sense for me to run for District 1 City Council, because this is a place where I grew up. This is a place that I rode on every street. I went to these schools. I saw these things being built. And so there's a frustration in me that saw that in 40 years, the Blacksville community hasn't changed. There have been no major investments into our community. When we look at the two parks, we look at a sidewalk on Phillips Drive, we see streetlights on Phillips Drive, but we being the city of McDonough, you don't even upkeep the parks that you built. And so when it came down to our kids and services for our kids, you built a police department instead of a community center. And contrary to popular belief, all black kids don't play basketball. So that's what we put over there. Basketball. We didn't even bother doing a water park, a splash pad at Rufus Stewart Park, because these kids don't have access to pools. There is no community pool for these kids. And so when we talk about for the last 40 years, this is what the Blacksville community, District 1, has had to deal with. And so it is disappointing to me that my integrity would be questioned by someone, and listen, and I don't mean in disrespect when I say this, hadn't done a fraction of the work I've done in this community since I was born here. And so we want to play these political games. Listen, I don't have anything against Sandra Vincent. She's a nice lady. But don't get upset with me when I call out the facts. And here they are. There was a $100,000 State of the City put on at the beginning of the year. So we spent $100,000 on an event to grandstand, but we can't cut the sidewalks in the Blacksville community. We can't make sure that there's mulch and that our community parks look decent. We spent $100,000 for pomp and circumstance to pat ourselves on the back, but the kids at Rufus Stewart Park can't get new nets on the basketball goal. We can buy millions of dollars worth of properties, but we can't go renovate a porch for somebody in Blacksville. We can spend $500,000 on trolleys, but we can't get new signs in that community. We can't get anything, any programming for our kids other than sports. Because we do have kids that aspire to be nurses and doctors and engineers, construction workers, start their own businesses, but we don't invest in those things. So don't look at me and ask me, oh, why don't you support her? Because we spent tens of thousands of dollars on the square to put flowers, geraniums, and dirt up there, but we still don't have anything, any beautification in the Blacksville community. Now, if you did that in 3 years, 4 years, you can do something in our community, and it hasn't been done. And so we love to play these games, and you got to choose a side and all that kind of foolishness. And we've divided ourselves, and it's evident. We look ridiculous as a community that's divided against itself. It's insane to me. And so you ask, well, why would you support Cam? Well, she's from this community. And I don't care. She had the same opportunity that Sandra Vincent had. Sandra Vincent was on that city council for 20 years before she ran for mayor, and nobody knew who she was. 90% of Blacksville had no clue who she was before she ran for mayor. But we stood behind her, and we gave her the opportunity. Now, if you think I'm lying, the facts are the facts. You can go right to the county website, look at the property tax website, put in City of McDonough, and see how many properties we've purchased since she's been in office. None of this is private. This is public record. And I apologize if I come off as angry. It's not anger, it's passion, because I grew up in this community. And so, no, I'm not going to go out and stand on the corner and wave at people and beg you to vote for me, because I've put in the work in this community. I've mentored these kids. I've showed up. And so if folks in the community want to question, well, what you going to do when you get in there? I'm not going to beg you for a vote, because I've been out here working. What I will ask you to do is to pick up a shovel, get out here and mentor these kids with me, get out here and beautify this area with me, get out here and advocate for something other than yourselves. Because no, you're not going to sell me on a promise. Because we've been sold that bill of goods before, and we had the promise of something that would be in our bag, and we opened up the bag and the bag was empty. I'm not advocating for all of McDonough. I'm advocating for District 1. The Blacksville community, City Square, the new project, the old project, Phillips Drive, Head Lane, College Street, Bryan Street, Brown Street, Garden Walk community. Because if money is being spent, we need to see it in our community just as well as every other place in this community. So don't you look at me and tell me, well, what has she done since she's been in office? She did the same thing Sandra did when she was a city council. And so you give her the same opportunity that we gave somebody that didn't have blood, sweat, and tears and born in this community. You give her the same right and give her the same opportunity that we gave Sandra. You give it to somebody that's from here. Because you're not going to convince me that somebody that's not from here loves and commits themselves to this city more than somebody that is not. Then we see the foolishness of the videos and the pictures and, ooh, they meeting with Republican conspiracists. Are you insane? There are just as many white people as there are black. They pay their taxes like we pay our taxes. So it is asinine to sit and believe that I would have a local government that accuses me of supporting a quote unquote Trump supporter because I sit down and have a conversation. Well, that's what local government is supposed to be about. That's why these races are nonpartisan, because it doesn't matter who's in the White House. What matters is how our local tax dollars, what we see every day, that's what matters. And what I know is I can't blame it on Trump or Biden, where our kids have to look at a police station when they're playing basketball instead of a community center. That's not Trump, Biden, or Obama. That's our local administrations. I can't blame Trump for the sidewalks looking like trash, our parks looking like trash. That didn't come from D.C. That came from City Hall. Because we refuse to run a city for one side of town like we run it for the other side of town. And meanwhile, back at the ranch, while all this negative press is coming out about Cam Varner, her competitor has shown her hand, putting out stupid videos about Cam had shut down a local business. That's asinine. It wasn't researched. It was dumb, and it wasn't true, period. And if it is true, submit the evidence. Don't just give me mouth and talk. Then you show a picture of her sitting down at IHOP, and you call it a secret meeting. Listen, Elton Alexander, focus on Stockbridge, brother. Focus on that. Because for some reason, you believe that it's some sort of floss, some sort of accomplishment to pay off an amphitheater in record time while you still have to shuffle around city money just to keep the dadgum city running. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, if you look at 138, it looks like a ghost town. And so now you hope that Jodico Station revives Stockbridge. Listen, bro, y'all got enough problems over there. Stay over there and do that. Because what we don't do is we don't tongue wrestle on the internet. That ain't what we do. We're not a keyboard warrior. McDonald has his own problems. You let us deal with it. And this is why I didn't run. 10 years ago, I was asked to run for mayor, and this is what I said. The best thing I can do for this city is to be a father to my children. And that's what I did. I served this community. I served out there at that school. I volunteered every time I was asked. I help and I do what's needed for this community because this is where I live. This is my home. But what we're not going to do, you're not going to drag my name. You're not going to do it. Now, you are welcome to endorse whoever you feel to endorse. That is on you. But what you can't say is that I haven't served this community. You can't say that I haven't been in it. You can't say that I haven't went out there and bust my butt with my kids and taught them to serve in this same community. So you're not going to do that. This is ridiculous that we have reduced ourselves to petty arguments and childhood issues that we have with people. This is insane. And we got to do better. Meanwhile, millions of dollars are being spent at City Hall, but not in this community. So while you're sitting up fussing and talking about, oh, well, we haven't given enough time. How much time do we need? Because this money has been spent in the last 4 years. So when does this community that has traditionally been disenfranchised, when is it our turn? We're not asking for multi-million-dollar complexes to be built in Blacksville. We're asking for the same dignity that you give other sides of this city. We're asking for the grass to be cut. And what's interesting to me, the irony, is that you would have code enforcement act like a bully and come through Blacksville. We give out more tickets in the Blacksville community than you give any other community in this city. You have the audacity to come over there and give those tickets. These are folks that are already disenfranchised, already low income, already don't have the money. Then you sit them down to a joke of a magistrate court that fines them another $500, $1,000 because their grass is not cut. You ought to be ashamed. And yet folks are running around here as if everything, oh, I wish I lived in the city. I could vote. Are you kidding me? The people that are here telling you what's going on. If you think I'm lying, ride through Blacksville today. Do that. And I'm okay. Like I said, Sandra's a nice lady. But this foolishness that's going on now is dumb. If Sandra wasn't a part of it, she could have easily jumped on any post that was negative, that told lies about Cam. She could have jumped on any post at any time and said, I don't approve of this. Go back and check those posts and see if it's there. Any of them. It's not. And until we do better, until we have the integrity to stand up against foolishness, no matter whether it's for us or against us, you have to stand up to the lies and speak truth to power. And we're not doing it. And so that's my commitment. I've done my best. I've talked to folks in this community to stay away from this camera because I don't want you to confuse my passion with anger. I am passionate about this community because I grew up in this community. And I have white friends and black friends and Hispanic friends. And so all of us deserve the exact same service that we get all over the city. We deserve to have a code enforcement that's a community partner, not a policing agent. We deserve to have programs for our youth other than basketball and religious sports programs. We deserve more than that because our kids want more than that. We deserve our small businesses to have incubators right here in the city. They deserve to do business with the city as well, but we don't. Most of the businesses that are in Blacksville are right down Macon Street by Food Depot. So why don't we extend the downtown district down to Food Depot so they have an access to the facade grant that businesses that are on Main Street in the square, the downtown district, have traditionally gotten? This is the foolishness that I'm talking about. And transparency. We shouldn't be the last to know. It's our money. So why are we the last to know how it's spent? It's ludicrous. And then we want to play victim as if someone is challenging your integrity and questioning your integrity. No, you showed your hand. We know your operatives. We've seen them. We see them. They are obvious right now. So however the election turns out, let it be what it is. But don't you ever look us in the face again and tell us that you're for us when in these first 4 years you've shown us that District 1 is not on your agenda. It is not. Because you didn't have to spend a dime. All you have to do is get your public works department is to come over here and beautify this area like you do other parts of the city. So listen, man, I appreciate you guys jumping on. Listen, my goal is not to be, I didn't want to act foolishness. I didn't want to do this, guys, but listen, and I see everybody in the comments, man, you guys are amazing. And I really appreciate it. But this is getting goofy. This whole election is getting goofy. And this is one of the reasons that I didn't want to run in the first place, to be honest with you. I want to serve the community. But see, I come from a different McDonough. We don't do this. We don't become thugs on the keyboard, become keyboard warriors and fuss and argue over social media. I come from a McDonough where we pull up and we knock on the door and we have conversations like adults. That's what we do. And that's not what's being done now. And so we've picked sides and petty differences. And it's stupid. It's stupid. It's retarded. Now, if you want to go out, and I said, if you want to support the other young lady that's running for this seat, by all means, listen, she's not a bad person. Good lady, educated, whatever. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to sit there and look me in my face and tell me somebody cares more about the community than I do. You're not going to do that. You're not going to play in my face like that. It's time out for it. Now, if you don't want to vote for me, then don't. If you don't believe I'm going to get in there and do anything, then don't. You don't believe Cam going to do anything, then don't. You got one vote. Use it wisely. I was talking to my cousin this weekend, and Mario told me to tell y'all, take somebody to the polls with you. Don't go to the polls alone. We get people to ride to the store with us and go over here to the restaurant with us and go pick this up with us. Run to Walmart with me. Take somebody to the polls with you. Take somebody to vote with you. Because at some point, we have to step up as a community. We got to open our mouths and we have to demand that the same services and the same level of care that's given in other places are given in our communities. That we have programs that help us step up. Nobody's asking for anything for free, but we are looking for leadership, but we are looking for guidance. And it's about time that it comes to be. And so this is where I'm at today. This is how I feel. And if you agree with it, amen. If you know somebody in District 1, call them and say, hey, go vote for Zay. Vote for Xavier. Vote for James. Whatever you know me by. But do know that it's time out for this other stuff. We have a lot of work to do in our community. We have drugs flowing into our community. Our kids are committing crimes at a higher level. They're going out to the jail at a higher level. Our kids are unemployed, and they're employed by lower paying jobs because they don't have the skill set. They don't have the vision to want anything better. And so we have to do something different. It's time out for just standing by. And it's time for a local government that not only listens, that not only creates transparency, but's there shoulder to shoulder with us to help us win as a community, not as a Black community, but as a McDonough community. Because you are this is not the community for you if you believe it's just one race. If you believe that it's just one party, it's insane. You don't have to agree with somebody's political affiliations, what party they're affiliated with, but you find the common ground. You find it. And right now, our common ground is what we see every day. This has nothing to do with D.C. It has something to do with right over there off Keys Ferry Street. That's McDonough City Hall. And we got to get it together. We got to move forward. We have to be smart in our purchases, and we have to be transparent with our citizens about what we're doing before we do it. We have to ask permission. Our citizens have to trust City Hall to make the best decisions for all of McDonough, because that's what the campaign slogan was, is that you're mayor for all of McDonough. But all of McDonough hasn't benefited in the last 4 years. And District 1 is tired of waiting. The Blacksville community is tired of waiting. They're tired of looking at rundown parks that are not maintained. They're tired of looking at the police station that's right next door. We're tired of our area not being kempt like other areas. We're tired of looking at Richard Craig that looks like a desolate ghost town. We're sick of it. We're sick of spending $500,000 on trolleys that a year and a half later, 2 years later, we're just now trying to get going. And whether I agree with the trolleys or not, let me speak on that. Whether I agree with the purchase of those trolleys or not, my job, if I was a city council person, is to come back to my constituents and say, this is what we're looking at. These are the pros, these are the cons. What do you think? And my job is to go knock on doors, do these videos, do what you did to get in office, do what you did to keep your citizens and constituents involved in the process. And if if I knocked on 1,000 doors and they said, nope, 800 said, no, I don't want to do that. My job as a city council person, regardless of how I feel, is to go back and vote in a manner that our citizens want. That wasn't done, nor is it being done with any of the purchases that we're making. Our job is to make sure that our city runs like a sewing machine, that our city services are there on time, that our customer service is there. These are public servant positions. These are not positions to get rich. And if you're not serving, let me tell you, this is the slap in the face. This is what's so embarrassing. We've seen more work get completed in the last 4 months of election season than we have in 4 years. Because we knew it was election season. We knew it was time to start campaigning. But you showed your hand. Now, had these things been done over the last 4 years, I wouldn't even be doing this video right now. But that's not what's happening. And you got people within our community speaking against folks that's from the community. That's insane to me. It is insane. I've been preaching a long time, 45 years old. I'm looking at about 30 years in ministry. I went to Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, got my master's in divinity, pastored twice, was a college president, got my executive MBA, business owner, mentor. And there are some scriptures that you don't want to be true. You don't want it to be true. Mark 6:5 is one that I don't want to be true. He says it's only in a prophet's own home, amongst their own kindred, where they will get no honor. It is shameful the way we're behaving. It is shameful. And so this is where we are. I implore you, take somebody to vote with you. This is dire. I refuse to sit another 40 years and listen to politicians promise me what you're going to do in Blacksville. I refuse to do it. I refuse. Won't happen again. Won't happen again. And this is no lie. Me and my team have been out campaigning in the Blacksville community. We've watched the young lady running against me sitting on the porch of the person whose seat we're running for. Same person looked me in my face and said, yeah, I support you. We've seen this guy giving out flyers for the opponent. This is what I'm saying. This is the foolishness that's happening right now in our city. Now listen, if this video costs me the election, then so be it. Then so be it. But what you won't stop getting from Xavier Johnson is truth. Just like if I'm elected, that's where the fear is. Because we're going to speak truth to power. I'm known for it, and I'm going to stick to doing it. And we'll be respectful. But the days of this dirty politics foolishness, this crap has to end. It has to end. So I beg everyone, early voting is still up. Early voting, I believe, up until the 31st. And November 4th is the election. I appreciate you guys for staying on, for listening to me rant. Like I said, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated because, I'm human too, right? So the people that you grew up with, you expect, especially if they know you, you expect them to support you. You expect them not to do foolishness and speak badly on your name. That's what you expect. But I can't tell you that I'm surprised. I can't say that. And so this is where we are. I appreciate you guys. If I can help anybody, just as I always have been, if I can help you, reach out. If you want to talk to me privately, listen, reach out. We'll connect and we can have some conversations. But we have to do better in our community. We look foolish on social media right now. We look foolish. We can't even support our own people. We look foolish. And so it is, and it shouldn't be this way. It shouldn't be this way. You guys should look up, Scott Reeves, and he put out a comment the other day, and I congratulated him on it. And he's a city council person, and he admitted to where he and the council have fallen short over the last 4 years, where they could have done better, where projects should have been completed 4 years ago. And I'll tell you why that is important. Leadership that can admit their faults, that can admit they could have done better, and then make a commitment to do better. That's called integrity. It's not integrity by telling the constituents that they're wrong and that they don't understand how government works. That's not integrity. Integrity is being honest about where you've fallen. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you make a commitment to be better, and then you go be better. But what we're not going to continue to do is hide behind religion and go hold hands and pray together and, I'm doing this in the name of the Lord, but your feet say something different. Those days are done. Those days are done. I know people that don't even represent Christ. They have a whole different religion. I've met atheists. I've met people who didn't even believe in God. Have superior integrity, superior honesty. So you can stay out my face with the God, and God is gonna, you can stay out my face with any of that. And I'm a preacher and love Jesus. But you're not going to fool me with that no more. Satan sat right there in heaven. Judas sat right beside Jesus. So you're not going to sit there and fool me with that foolishness anymore. You're not going to hide behind religion and then your feet do something different. It's time to demand a higher level of integrity, a higher level of honesty. As city council, listen, guys, if I'm elected, I may have to deliver you news that you don't want to hear. I may have to tell you that a project has to be pushed back a year, 2 years, or that we can't do the project at all. But I'm going to be honest about it. Because what you won't say about me is, Councilman Johnson didn't tell me. You won't say, oh, I ain't seen him in 4 years. I ain't seen her in 4 years. I can line up 5 businesses right now that will tell you the candidates that's running now that they haven't seen, that they supported them 4 years ago and hadn't seen them since. McDonough is not Atlanta. We don't have 20 square miles of city to cover. Listen, man, we have to do better. I was trained better. My martial arts training has trained me better. My ministerial training that I received right here from Reverend Lee has trained me better. And we have to do better as a city. So again, I'm done talking. I appreciate all the comments. Appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. I'm sorry my camera went off. I'm talking so long, my camera don't went off. But here we are. And again, if I can help you guys with anything, please feel free to reach out. Get out and vote. Whoever you vote for, get up and go vote. That's where our voice is. You have no right to open your mouth about anything that is going on in the city or county or this country if you don't get up and exercise your right to vote. It is yours. People fought for it. And change won't come until you do it. And so this is Xavier, the man, the father, the community servant, not the politician that's telling you to get up off your behinds and go vote. I'd love your vote. But if you don't give it to me, fine. Get up and go vote anyway. Go vote for somebody. Let your voice be heard. Because that's how we end up in these situations. When good people stay silent, when good people stay home on election day, that is how we end up in mess. And so, listen, if I can help you, let me know. I'm sure we'll get some criticism. I'm all for it. And we can continue to move forward. So, listen, it's Monday. Make it a marvelous Monday. The sun is out. It's beautiful outside. It's a beautiful day to go vote. They're open till 7. So, with that being said, thanks everybody for tuning in. And I'll check you guys out. And I'll see y'all again on the 4th. All right, take care.